Edward Laos. Welcome to Travel Talk, filmed at the Peachtree Rose Marketing Studios and hosted by the hotel guide publisher, Edward Laos.
Good afternoon, everybody. Edward Laos here, publisher of the Hotel Guide and your host of Travel Talk. Really excited about today's episode of Travel Talk. I've got actually what I'm thinking is a really good friend. We connected and really been chatting about her journey and what she's been doing and things about maybe what we're going to be doing down the road. But Carolyn, it's so amazing to have you on our podcast today.
Oh, thank you, Edward. I'm thrilled to be here.
Good. I'm excited to have you. I think this is going to be great for our listeners and readers out there. But like I always like to do, people are always asking like, hey, Edward, who are you talking to? And so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Carolyn, and kind of how you got to where you are as CEO of JourneyWoman?
Well, thank you. I have been CEO of JourneyWoman since 2019 when I took over JourneyWoman.com. We're based in Toronto, Canada. And I had the honor of being invited by Evelyn Hannon, who founded JourneyWoman in 1994, to carry on her legacy and inspire women to travel solo. And since then, we've really focused in on the women 50 plus market. So we're pretty much exclusively talking to women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond about how to get out there and travel, whether it's solo, whether it's in a group, whatever you're comfortable with.
No, it's amazing. And I remember that the journey that you said, I mean, we knew the story a little bit beforehand, but I love where you've gone with it and what you're doing now. Tell our listeners a little bit about JourneyWoman, maybe how it started, and maybe even some of the things that you're trying to accomplish going for the remainder of this year, maybe even into next year.
It's a really, really exciting time. You know, I spent the first few years in the pandemic and learning about travel, learning about websites. And JourneyWoman started as a print newsletter in 1994, and Evelyn would sell it through bookstores. That was her, that's how she got it started. And she went online in 1997 with what I think is one of the travel industry's first travel websites, definitely the first travel website about women and about solo travel. And when I took it over, you know, she had and we still have an amazing monthly newsletter that we send out that has articles and tips and all of that. But I think what we're seeing now is so much growth and opportunity in solo travel. And by that, I mean opportunity for the travelers to, as women, as we age, to get out there and see the world and not stay at home and dream about what could be, but rather make it happen.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing here. Our companies have such synergy. We were founded in 93. We got on the website in 97. So we got thehotelguide.com in 97. And so when you're talking about having that creativity and that foresight, I think that's just an amazing thing. A lot of people didn't know what the web was going to be like. And now look at it now, we wouldn't be anywhere without it. So I love the passion behind what you're doing in reference to the solo traveler. But what makes your site in your corner of the world so unique? And why should ladies come check you guys out and see about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of solo travel websites now. I think there's a few things. First of all, I am very much in favor of travel writing as a profession. I transitioned from marketing and consulting into this crazy world of travel, and I've had to learn it and appreciate it and all of the hard work that goes into writing editorial. And so I have tried to find the best female travel writers in the world to write for us. And we have about 30 writers now from all over the world who are over 50, who are writing and sharing their firsthand travel experiences, which I think is very unique. Yes. I mean, and I'm so honored and so proud to have these women. Juliet Kinsman is our latest writer, if you know Juliet. And women that have come to me and said, I want to support what JourneyWoman is doing and I want to help you. And that just means the world to me. So first of all, number one for me is we have this amazing editorial product. the other thing that I think makes JourneyWoman unique is we have a women's travel directory that features women-owned places to stay, tours, retreats, female guides. So kind of a hub for all the planning you might need to do if you're looking to travel as a woman, if you want to travel with a woman-owned company, which I think is very important given the, how much of the travel industry is employs women, but also we know that women make most travel decisions. We know that women are working in most tourism jobs. So, you can really support women when you travel. And that's what I'm trying to do with this directory is provide a place where you can go and find a vetted company that we have interviewed, spent time with. We know the CEO and can call them or communicate with them and help women who may not have traveled in the past to find a company like this that they can trust and that they can travel with.
I think that's incredible. I didn't know the vetting side of things, but talk a little bit about that. And, obviously being one of the original when it comes down to it, you talk about vetting, you talk about growth. How do you do that and continue to keep the essence of what you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I'll say there's one other thing I didn't mention in terms of what makes us unique, and this is the answer to this question too, which is our readers and our community, because JourneyWoman isn't just a website. There are many, many websites. As I said, JourneyWoman was created with the women who are still part of our community, and that's something that Evelyn did beautifully. And she invited women into the process, sharing their tips, sharing their advice, sharing their experiences, creating this wonderful community. And so when I took over JourneyWoman in 2019, I actually didn't realize this. I thought, I bought a website and I'm going to be able to write and travel and fulfill all of my dreams. I didn't really appreciate that all of these women that have been a part of JourneyWoman for so long, 20, 25, 30 years now, they really care about what I'm doing. And they will call me out if I make a mistake. They will write me, they will call me, they will text me. Like, I am beholden to them, and that made my first few years very interesting because, initially I can remember, I remember distinctly publishing an article about makeup, which I had somebody write for me who was not a travel writer. She did her best. It was great. But it was not a JourneyWoman article. I mean, JourneyWomen to me are very rugged. They're adventurous. They're not luxury travelers. They're savvy travelers. They're women who are looking for the right experience and the right value and that kind of thing. So when I started writing articles about lip hammocks and things like that, just did not fly. And I got a lot of emails and I got a lot of phone calls, and I said, okay, that article is coming down. So since then, I've come to know them very well. And I think I understand and always am asking what would be of value to you as we write these things. So it is a very collaborative relationship, and I really love that because it tells me that they care about, what I do with this website or this community or whatever you want to call it. But there's a very deep caring and loyalty and attention to what I'm doing.
I think that's important because it just shows the value of what you've been bringing to the community prior to you as well. For somebody to kind of give you their feedback, because there's so many companies and so many things that when something happens, people don't care enough to really let you know. And so the thing that I took away from that is you have a passionate group of partners that are working with you in a line. And so that's even better. Some people could look at that and be, oh my God, that's so much people, so much pressure. But once you find the sweet spot and you get a cadence in your business, it's the greatest gift ever. It's kind of like we have with the Hotel Guide from a business perspective. It's done the same thing. Post-pandemic, you had to reevaluate everything, look at what options were out there and how to align. And so we're kind of following in a lot of stuff that you're doing as well. So let's switch a little bit from the business side of things. I always like to ask my guests a couple of travel questions on the personal side. But what have been some of your favorite travel destinations?
Well, I now travel to 15 to 20 countries a year. So I'm, you know, uh, it's pretty full on. I have become expert at packing as well. But I think for me, one of the places I really love is Spain, and I'm actually
Mm.
going there next week on my second trip this year. And um, you have those places that really touch you in the heart. And for me, that Spain is one of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to Malaysia for the holidays. So I try to spend 3 or 4 months in one country every year. So this year I've chosen Malaysia. So I'll be going there in December, and I'm just working on my, where I'm going to stay and all of those things. So there's so many amazing places in this world. I mean, it always comes down to the people that you meet and the experiences that you have. But I am trying to go to places that are a little less known and look for experiences that are a little bit off the beaten path, because certainly we all know Europe is very popular. I've spent a lot of time in South America. I absolutely love it, and went to Antarctica this year as well for the first time. So,
Wow.
and we are actually planning a women-only trip to Antarctica in 2027. So, I mean, it's just there's so much, right? And I can't imagine what this will be like in 10 years if I'm,
Yeah.
it's kind of insane. I mean, people always say to me, how do you travel so much, and how do you afford to travel? And the answer to that is I don't own anything anymore. I don't have a house. I don't have things. I don't buy clothing. I don't, you have to really think about your whole lifestyle.
Yep.
When you, at least for me in the travel industry, if I want to be authentic about what I'm doing, it's not like all my trips are paid for. They're not. Most of it I'm doing on my own because I want to. And so it's really, a passion for me to get out there and say to women, you can do this. You can get out there
Yeah.
and you can find places that, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing either, because that's obviously what's leading to over tourism and other things. So long
No,
answer, but
no, but that's a great answer, and it goes back to everything that you're trying to accomplish with JourneyWoman and giving people the want and the desire. Same thing with the hotel guy. We want to do that. We want to connect people. We say stay for a lifetime or a day, and whether you want to go there and move or whether you want to go there and just
yeah,
visit, we want to be
yeah.
able to do that and showcase people all over the world. But any bucket list items that you have for travel?
Well, one of them I am doing this year, which is Vietnam and Cambodia. So I am going on a river cruise with Amber Waterways in December, and I just can't wait. I mean, I think
Wow,
that's going to be really
that's gonna be
incredible.
amazing.
I'm so fortunate to have these opportunities, and to be able, it's a little bit of you literally, some days I just look at the world map and I say, okay, where do I want to go? And I'm also very enamored with UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So
Yes,
that's another thing I'm always thinking about, is because those are really the most incredible places in the world to go with history and culture, and they're so unique. So in fact, when I started traveling, when I decided to travel full time and downsized in 2019, I had a big map on my wall full of UNESCO stickers, and here's where I was going to go. And I haven't yet gotten into Africa in the way that I want to, because there's many
sure.
there. But I think getting into Asia more, that's something I'd like to do, just in terms of not a bucket list necessarily, but just trying to go places where women might say, oh, I've heard that's not
Mhm.
safe. And which is one of the things we don't publish lists on safest
Sure.
destinations. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. But this idea of safety is so much an internal thing, and how
Mhm.
confident you are about getting out into the world. And there's a lot of fear, obviously, and anxiety in the world right now. And I want to offset that with positivity,
Yep.
and show women that, stop reading those headlines and get out and find out for yourself,
Sure.
or ask other women, what have they personally experienced in that country, so you can make an informed decision. because I do think the mainstream media is really just freaking people out with these terrible headlines, you know. So I'm trying to I'm trying to offset that. Yeah.
No, I think that's a good thing. It's just like with us too. Whenever we get hosted, people are like, "Do you write reviews?" I'm like, "Nope. I wouldn't go to your house and tell you all the bad things that are happening in your house when you had me over to your house. I wasn't raised that way." So, offline, I'll let them know, "Hey, this is what happened. You may want to know for a guest that comes in." But yeah, we're not a review publication either, and so we want to showcase the good that's in travel and what's out there. So I love that about you as well. So we are coming to the end. What is the best way for our guests, our listeners, to connect with JourneyWoman?
Oh, well, thank you. So JourneyWoman.com, all one word, singular. And we have a free newsletter that goes out once a month. We have exclusive travel deals from our partners. We have a newsletter I curate called Smitten. And we've got a Facebook group called JourneyWoman Solo Travel. So all kind of all over the place. But yeah, we welcome everybody to come and, kind of step into what can be and not be held back by what you might hear.
Well, I appreciate you being on the podcast today, Carolyn. It's been an absolute joy having you on.
Thank you so much. And I hope we do find lots of ways to work together. I think there's lots of opportunity.
I definitely do. And I know we will. And so for all of our listeners and readers and followers out there, you know the drill. Follow us at thehotelguide.com. Like, subscribe, share this podcast as well. We will have Carolyn's not email, but the website and how to connect with them in the show notes later on as well. So feel free to do that. But as we always like to say, travel, make memories. And until next time, everyone, take care.